The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all outliers. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Apbt, the very first champion off Grand Champion May Day, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, two-time Best in Show and two-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion El Rod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all outliers. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Apbt, the very first champion off Grand Champion May Day, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, two-time Best in Show and two-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion El Rod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all outliers. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Apbt, the very first champion off Grand Champion May Day, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, two-time Best in Show and two-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion El Rod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all-out liars. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Debrat, the very first champion off Grand Champion May Day, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, 2-time Best in Show and 2-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion Elrod, and Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
What up? What up? What's up? Big shout out to everybody out there in the Shark Tank. Y'all know what time it is. It's that Hot Mic Friday. Y'all don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Big shout out to all my people out there on the back street. I see you. Big shout out to the longtime supporter, my main man, the one and only Mr. Dickie Foster in the house. What up, fam? Another longtime supporter, my man, Mr. David Morse. Shake that down on that like button or the other way on the way in. Appreciate that, fam. Big shout out to Bloodthirst #1, aka Havoc 360 in the house. What up, fam? Want to give a big shout out to my main man, Mr. Derek Lockett's in the house. What up, fam? Yo, my man, Mr. Jason Clark in the house. What up, bam? Representing the 614 tree in the house. What up, bam? Big shout out to CTK. That's Constant Trauma Kennels in the house. What up, bam? My man Constant said, people turning them into protection work dogs, I see it as good and bad, but I don't know what you mean by bad traits. Man biters, we're going to get into that. Constant trauma, we're going to get into that because we know we got more than them bad, just biting habit problems. We're going to get into it. Hey, anybody has any questions and anything and just want to participate, I put that link down there in the chat. Y'all make sure if you got something on your mind and want to say something, come say something. Hey, but there's no wrong or right answer, so don't forget to just participate in the poll. You know how we checking. Big shout out to my man, Mr. Carlos Lee in the house. What up, fam? Keep on trucking, baby. I see you. Enjoy the ride. Big shout out to my man, Mr. John Debris. What up, fam? My man, bite down and shake that like button, the one and only Double M Despo in the house. What up, fam? Yo, Juilliard Kennels in the house. What up, fam? Small Times in the house. What up, fam? DMV Beetle representing. I see you, fam. Long time, fellas. You're right, fam. Long time no see, but welcome back. Glad to see you. Again, look, fellas, don't take much to hit that like button. And sure the hell don't take much to participate in that poll. Again, it's not no wrong or right answers. It is not no wrong or right answers. So prepare yourself. Chain up your dogs. Get on the yellow footprint. And as we load up the bus, because you know that's where we're going back in time. We're going back in time. And we're going to talk about some of these bad traits and see if, with times being the way they are and based on the laws, can we literally just overlook some of these bad traits? I'm just trying to find out where everybody's head at when it comes to these types of issues. I got my main man Mo in the house. Reason we didn't show up Tuesday because, you know, sometimes, you know, we have our good days. Sometimes we had our bad days. And Mo just had a bad day. Not that I couldn't have did it, but when he have a bad day, I have a bad day. So y'all bear with us as we go through these medical issues. And look at us. We still here today. But Mo gonna be the one doing most of the shit because I'm still having bad days. But you know, he don't know how to start up shit. So I gotta come in here and show my enthusiasm, get him crumped up, and let him do what he do. Big shout out to my man, Mr. O. Again, I got that link out there for y'all to just come in if you have any opinions or just type it in the chat. I'm pretty sure I got to set up the remote to see some of these chats and reply to them as they come. But again, appreciate everybody for showing up for this Hot Mic Friday. And let's do it. Let me see here. My man, Mr. Derek, like I said, people forget the American Pit Bull Terrier is a unity hound. The American Pit Bull Terrier should do what you ask them to do. This is true. But being dog trainers, we feel like that about all damn dogs, honestly. But it takes a special skill. It takes a little bit of understanding what you have to do. Being we all know all dogs ain't the same. So the training process, and again, as I said training process. That dog is going to be as good as the knowledge that you have about getting them to do what you want them to do. Because I ain't never known a dog yet that came right in and started doing shit we wanted them to do. It always started out as like some hard head shit. No, I ain't going to do that shit. But, oh, you're going to learn to do what I'm telling you to do, cuz. Now, we can do this the hard way, or you can just do it the easy way. But, again, that's all about just a training process. I think it's important that you tighten up your skills when it comes to, the training process, because training is not easy. And once you start training, you have to be consistent with the training and just truly believe, it never stops. The dog is only going to be as good as the time that you put in it. And that's from a trainer's point. Guard dogs and protection dogs aren't not like pit bulls that you just go, keep on the chain and they run out and around in the yard. And that's all they have to do. Those days aren't the same. In order for that dog to know what you wanted to do, he's not going to just be sitting on a chain. Just keep that thought in mind, fellas. Big shout out to my man, Oat Man. What up, fam? Let me see here. Make sure I got everybody. Yeah. Again, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button. And don't forget to participate in the poll. It don't cost you nothing. Y'all see this ticker that runs across the bottom. Anybody want to do donations? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And I think the super chat and all that other super sticker, all that shit still works. Haven't seen it work in a while, but hey, I'm trusting that YouTube stays on top of their business. My man, 614 Tree said, now it's more important than ever to keep the standards as high as possible. You're right about that, 614. But being that you said that, my opinion is the standards it's gonna change. It's gonna have to, you know. I think because as time goes on, and in these days and times, the standards kind of like have to change. You know, the reason I say that because how are we gonna be running around talk about game dogs? How are we gonna know how are we gonna know what's game and what ain't? But then we're gonna have a whole bunch of grand champion Hanks running around. You know how Hank would, to turn king, but game is shit. That trait, that's one of them bad traits. And guess what? He was able. He passed that shit on. But how you gonna know if you're going to be one of the people that's passing that trait on? How do you know? I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to guard train one and he got that type of attitude, you're gonna learn that early. Because he's gonna run in there and do a little spin and everything, and then jump out, and you know how we be aggressively trying to see how they handle us with noise or popping stuff, a little touching on them. Hell, he might start doing circles and shit. You never know. But there's only one way to find out. You got to find out. Anything that you want to see, you got to go put a dog in a situation to see. That's the part I don't want you to get away from. Whatever you're doing and however you're doing it, do it till you see what you're looking for. Until then, stop guessing. Because that's how a lot of these people have these dogs, and all of a sudden they biting somebody. Because the first thing that come out of their mouth is, I never seen that before. Well, maybe you never put him in that situation to see. You ever thought of that? I'm just putting that out there. Big shout out to my main man, Mr. Skip Bell. I see you, fam. Big shout out to my man, Mr. William McNeil in the house. What up? Bam! Hang in there, Carlos. I'm going to make sure you get your hardware, fam. Again, don't forget about that link up top. I'll keep on top of it to make sure that, it stays there for everybody to do what they got to do. Hey, Mo, it's on you, bro. What up, everybody?
Mic check one. Y'all hear me on? What's up, fellas? What's up? Hey, gents, dog men, dogettes. That right? What up, everybody? Thanks for coming out, man. Hey, that's a pretty good poll there. We're gonna go over a couple things pertaining to bad traits. What the law got to do with the bad traits, man? Well, it's saying because with these new laws, ain't nobody checking shit no more. You know what I mean? So if you ain't checking that, you're gonna have those lines that's gonna be full of bad traits. Bad traits is like quitting is a bad trait. Biting people is a bad trait. Those are the kind of traits that he's talking about. And what you're saying is, in today's world, the American Pit Bull Terrier, being a selective breeding, has just went out the door in many cases. You know, the numbers of a lot of untested, good bred dogs will be hitting the airways, knowing that you're gonna always have, you know, those that really works the history of the continuing history of the American Pit Bull Terrier. And those are the people in the dark. And every once in a while in history, you know, some of them are pretty determined to maintain the integrity of the dogs. You know, not knocking what's going on, just pointing out the fact that it's gonna always be going on. It's like us going on the corner shooting craps or at a party. You know, can't be in the party 20 minutes before somebody to pull out the blanket and have the party in their kitchen gambling. You know, it's the same thing with the dogs. You know, it's just these days, how you gonna be gambling? Are you gambling on the treadmill? Are you gambling confirmation? Are you gambling the wall? And does traits matter pertaining to those type of events? Does it matter that you can take a cur out the box and use him on a treadmill or running up a wall or confirmation wise? Just because he didn't have the gameness or the heart, does that mean that he still can win in other competitions and still be a great dog? And would you breed to that dog if he, you know, didn't make it in the underworld, so he became pretty known in the upper world? You know, would it matter to some of you people? See, that's the question. That it's a bad trait. You know?
Big shout out to my man. Old man said, what's that old song, twin? Do it. Do it. Do it till you're satisfied. Whatever it is, do it. Do it till you're satisfied. I know what song you talk about, fam.
Come on and do it.
Do it. Big shout out to my man, Mr. Will McNeil. Big shout out to my man. I see you, Bo and them in the house. What up, fam? Bando for life. What up, fam?
Yeah, see, we're gonna have to respect the telltales of the history makers. And you know, y'all gotta feel me on this one though. The telltales of the history makers, what does that mean? Y'all know what it means. The only history that matters in the underworld is the gameness of the dogs. The integrity of the gamers of the dogs. The integrity of good champions, good grand champions, good registered marriage, good ROMs, PORs, you know? Think about it. Can it hold on? It's like, you know, let's just suppose, you know, we're on the bus back here in our time, so we can play this pretty freely. All right? All for the entertainment purpose. But check this out. Imagine here we is in the basement, and we see, you know, some Bulls dogs. They come out of a line of them, you know, a good line of dogs, but they all had this one problem. If you stick in there over 30 minutes, they had a tendency, you know, of not being no more than a 30-minute good dog. Now they starting to pop up. They starting to pop up everywhere in the genetics. You know, would it be a ward away from the basement? Would there be a flashing red light to that particular line of dogs that would not be acceptable in the basement? But what if he turned out to be a great confirmation dog? Where does that part matter at? Where do that cur matter? When is he gonna always be a cur? You know, even if he hits the confirmation form or broke a record on the treadmill or broke a world record on the wall, would that still make a difference in the underworld? Would you still incorporate that into your pedigree? It's a good question, you know, and you gotta be honest. We see it every day on Facebook. We see it every day on Facebook. We got people that plays defense. You know, they play like they playing on that border. We really don't know everybody's business. Not everybody to know unless you're out there knowing what knowing to know. If you know to know, then you know you got inside trader information. But if you ain't getting no inside trader information, based on what we see out here today, and based on the laws, the new game in the money is the money game. Everybody got a great puppy. Everybody got a great breed. The question is, you know, along with all these great breedings, what's up with the bad dogs? You know what I mean? What's up with the traits? What's up with the unwanted stuff? When does it become a pandemic? When we start seeing more dogs quitting under 30, 40 minutes? Down there in the underworld, they got a whole damn line of dogs. I mean, it just seems like everybody can make a champion these days. Like, you know what I mean? We got so much garbage down there. The event stores is coming out. Johnny O and Davy D. Both dogs start off bad for 10 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, scratches started. Oh, Davy D turned. Davy D continued to turn for the next 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned around. David D ended up winning. You know, in 31. You know what I'm saying? He turned so damn much. The other dog, you know, he got to that dog's threshold. You know, he got to that. The other dog who got him turning, it didn't got to his threshold. And what the hell? At least David D was turning, but look, he didn't. You know, the other dog quit before David D did. David D been trying to quit. That's why he was doing all that turning. Good handles? Nah, maybe it was good handles. Or was the dog slowing down who was putting it on it? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Now, we take David D home. David D just lost. I call my boy Maestro. Maestro, you want to, hey man, look here. You want to get on, want to get David D, man? You know how he bred. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's bred good. I can do something with that. I can make some money off of him. Next thing you know it, we got David D pups. Now, my question to y'all is, knowing the trait that David D, not only does he turn, you know, he be trying to quit. It just, you got to quit before he do. See, he do so much turning, he got a little time before he quit because ain't nobody making him pay for those turns. See what I'm saying? You got to make him pay for them turns. That curse snapping. You know what I mean? You know how they be doing when they curse snapping and turning? Or grab you by the face and be holding on for dear life. You know, the whole time you thinking he growling, he ain't growling, he whining. Help me! I can't hold you no more. You know, that's when them bad traits are really showing. You know? Because there's no way in the breeding of the dogs today where the stipulations of the accolades don't mean anything no more. No.
Big shout out to my man Union County in the house. I see you, fam. Hog and dogs. I see you, fam. Welcome to the show, fam. Been a while. My man Hog and Dog said the breeding's only good on paper. Not many are truly preserving the quality of the American Pit Bull Terrier.
Ask you, okay, why is that? What's his name? Hog and Dog. Hey, why do you think that is, though? Help me out with that one. That's a good point. Help us out. Explain. Why is it like that? And does it matter upstairs? And will it affect the downstairs? Or what about the tree crawlers, the ones that, you know, build the fake story and blend it in there with the real story? You know, how do we work this? What's the new format? What would you call the new format? But the standards already changed. The accepting of the new standards is the question. Who has accepted these new standards? And who are they truly affecting? Does it really hurt the line of dogs?
Big shout out to my man RBG, Lone Wolf in the house, coming in with a 2-piece, showing the love with the super sticker. Appreciate the love, fam.
RBG, go ahead, man. Come on, throw me some help here. I'm trying. Remember, we on the bus. Feel free. We back here we back here in the time capsule. Okay. We done went back and somebody done changed Jeep's name. You know, it's no more Champion Jeep now. It's Champion John. So all of a sudden, the whole world, we didn't change everything. How did this happen? Well, what happened was they didn't breed Bully Son. They didn't breed Bully Son. It was Bully Son Jr., the other cur that they bred the Honey Bunch, that produced Honey Bunch. Okay, so that means, you know, we both know both Bully Son and Bully Son Jr., both dogs quit. Okay, now just imagine that. We don't use, we this time, you know, times have changed, right? So they crucified Bully Son for quitting on his son. So Bully Son has been put out the picture. So that means most of the dogs that was bred after Bully Son quit, okay, they've been wiped out because Bully Son didn't come home after that. So now we on a whole new changed history. Now we got Bully Son Jr. being the daddy to Honey Bunch. Then we go get Finley's Bow, another cur. You know, it doesn't change the facts, but it still give us a dog like Jeep. No, it's no longer a Jeep there. It's now his name is John. And John, yeah, he's sitting on the list, but he ain't sitting up there like Jeep was. He's sitting on the list of some of the greatest producing curs. Imagine that. What do you mean by that, twin? This dog produced more dogs that quit the box and then came out and did everything else that you would expect from a good dog. Good confirmation, great athlete, you know, all those good traits. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest thing about him, man, is he was straight up curse. And all he throwing is curse. I mean, he throwing so many curves down in the basement, you know. They don't even want to hear Bully Son Jr. in the basement. But it's too late. It's too late. So in the long run, you cannot separate the two worlds. There's just no way you can separate the two worlds. At some point, like Zombie, you know, Nation Z, you know, at one point, you know, the zombies is gonna just keep on growing until they so many of them, they're gonna just eat all us humans. You know, all you see in the zombie movie is a bunch of zombies chasing what's left of the human race. And all the human race can do is run. You know, ain't not naked. If you try to fight and act like you game, you might get turned into a car. You know what I'm saying? Or you might turn around there and breed to one of them, not knowing and unwillingly, and the next thing you know it, puppies coming out looking like goddamn zombies. You know what I'm saying? You wonder how that happened. You know, will it ever get to that point? Will we have a whole world of American pit bull zombies? You know what I mean? The worst of the kind has bled into the underworld. Underworld holding on for dear life. They can't find nothing. You know, it's like a needle in the haystack now. For every 100 dogs, we might get a half a dog. What do you mean by half a dog? We might catch you winning one. Will the competition still be as stiff? I mean, who knows when you're doing two curves? Somebody might curve quicker than the other, or they might curve together. You know, that would be a good time to be like, everything got a scratch to win. You know, the more bullshit to come out, the more that sounds more feasible to do. Everybody got a scratch to win. Ain't no more standing in line, courtesy, and nothing. I won. No, everybody got a scratch to win. This is the only way we can fend off the trash. If we were trying to save our community, wouldn't that be the best way to do it? We got to make it. We got to change the rules. We got to reassure that we are safe, immune to the zombie disease. You know what I'm saying? Because there's guys who want to be right and do right. They don't want no cur-ass line of dog. They still want a good line. It don't mean they have to be doing wrong with the line. You ain't got to be doing nothing wrong with the line. Maybe he wants the line to preserve it. You know, if he gonna feed something, he wants to be picky with his shit. You know what I mean? No, I ain't doing that with my dog, but I'm particular about what I want. You know, I want my yard to be inoculated against the damn zombies. You know, I want a yard full of curs. I don't want a yard full of biting people they forgot his task of getting a dog. You know what I mean? This is what you're going to be raising in the near future.
Big shout out to my man Hogging Dogs. He said a lot of individuals hopping into this have the wrong aim. Dogs get bred for names instead of what they prove. I see a lot of barely 1-year-old males up for stud just because they act good on a chain.
And that's very true. You know, and it's not an act. It's not an act. You see? It's not an act because you got to give a little puppy credit. You know, it only becomes an act when he quit. You know what I'm saying? And some guys out there, they don't want to see their dog quit, so they'll never see him quit. You know why? Because they'll never put in the situation or the position to quit. You got to keep the lie alive. So he will never test his dog. He will always keep talking about that puppy, just like he was talking about that puppy when he was a puppy. He's gonna be talking about that puppy when that dog get grown. He's gonna tell you that dog was the truth when he was a little puppy. He was doing all that. But when it come of age, he's still telling the same story. Like, is this puppy gonna ever grow up and do something else? Shit. What the hell?
Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Shy Diners in the house. Welcome to the Shark Tank fam. He said the real got too much to lose effing with dogs in America. Up and move to maintain a real program. Dog men. Hey, while I got this mic, let me give a big shout out to my man. Quick FC7 in the house. I see you, fam. Big shout out to my main man, Mr. Johnny Rocket in the house. What up, fam? Yo, my man, Mr. William Torres in the house. What up, fam? Hey, I want to give my man Johnny Rocket said, from the back of the bus in your yard, you have to take the trash out. That's part of the game. And there might be some flunky that ain't ready to do that. Well, them flunkies always been around. You know what I mean? Them be the ones that see him quit and say, man, let me get that dog. And they say, well, give me $100 and take him with you. And he take him with it, you know. Big shout out again to my man, Mr. William Torres. Big shout out to my man, Mayhem Kennels in the house. What up? Bam!
He took that dog, spent $100 for him, and you see him on Facebook the next day with a $1,000 staff fee. $1,500 puppies. You know what I mean? And how bad will it get? Will it get that bad where we'll have more zombies running around than we have humans? What you think? And like you said, real doggers have too much to lose. And you're right, a few of them have moved their lines to the other side of the world. That's why so many of these dogs coming back into the United States are making a shift. A lot of these dogs, y'all can't even say their names, you know, because their names is really a foreign language name. Like El Titre, El Negro. You know what I'm saying? You know, these are the things that y'all will run into coming back into the country. Some of these kennels, you don't know whether they're legit or not. But I tell you what, I'll tell you like this. Yeah. Okay, Black Rock. You look at Black Rock dogs. Okay? A lot of them dogs is over there working their way back into this country. And you already know when you work your way back into this country and you fall down in that desert dark, you know what I'm saying, where the truth must be told. And they can withstand and stand up to it. You gotta give Black Rock some credit because he left this country to maintain his cycle. And he groomed his dogs based on where he was. You know, he stayed true. He was always looking for the best to go into the best. He was always breeding his best as well as checking his best. Now, when it get hard and you whoop enough ass and you become a 90%er in them other countries, it's kind of hard to get off. That's the problem, because they don't have a whole lot of great dog men over there. They have good dog men, but they don't have no great ones. You have to keep the level at the highest level. We accept those under that. We do. Because we can still have great shows back in our time, even with the far lesser dogs. You got two good dogs on each other, you're going to have a good match. If you got two bums out there working, guess what? For these two bums to be working, ain't neither one of them biting through a paper bag. They slobbering on each other to death. But they've been scratching down there 3.5 hours. Ain't neither one of them going, if they're going to die from exhaustion. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Would you incorporate that? Would you find that a problem? Would you be willing to build off of that? And let's talk about them top 5 over here in our male section. Being that we might as well come to the realization after damn near 20, 30 years, probably longer than that for Jeep and them. And, we can't really speak on Frisco because we know Frisco, he's like the dog. I'm always keep bringing Frisco's name up in these conversations because Frisco was the dog who started getting his ROMs outside the country, where we had to make adjustments to coordinate to what he was doing based on the fact that they weren't winning worth a damn over here. They didn't really start winning worth a damn over here until they start crossing a little different over here. Or some of them coming back in over here. Or some of the great old dog men were being able to produce good dogs. And all Tom was doing is buying them back. All he's looking for is a Garner dog out there that's carrying his name. That's a good dog. He ain't hiding that about his shit. He ain't trying to be secretive about that shit. If you got a good Garner dog and that dog got a Garner up under him, he's going to call you. Or you need to call him because he might not see you or know you. But this is how he maintains his status. But when we start talking about the first dog, 5 dogs, see, he got to have an asterisk by his name, even on the ROM list. We got to put a damn asterisk right by his name, only because of the simple fact that he had down there 20 years worth of straws and breeds down when all these other bulldogs had none.
Want to give a big shout out to my man Branko in the house. What up, fam? My man Hog and Dog said, really wonder if calling is even a quarter as strict as it should be. I'm in a place where it's legal to play, so anything I find unsatisfactory is gone. Wouldn't even rehome it.
Hey, and you know what? I'm glad to hear you say that, being over there where you at, and it's free for you to speak out like that, because that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. And guarantee you, if everybody over there starts talking and thinking like you, competition gonna get real stiff. And see, this is where you have those elites, them all rights, and them okays. Okay? Because there's going to be 3 categories. Them okays, they'll never make it out to the all rights. They always find themselves losing. Why? Because they're not competitive enough to be all right. They're okay. And all right will never be to the level of the elites. You know, they're all right, but they're not. They're able to be all right and be able to put an end to the okays, but can never get into the status of the elites. So in that elite world, competition gonna be tough. That means at some point, the elites gonna be on each other. They don't want to be with an all right. They don't want to go into an okay. And then you're gonna have them okays feeling like they're gonna jump over the all rights and jump right into the elites. And maybe get lucky. Or maybe they kennel blind. Or maybe they believe there is no such status. Whatever their reasoning. Whatever their reasoning. Just because you came from the bottom and tried to hit the top don't make you a bad dog, man. Make you a good dog, man. Because at least you know, you're not kennel blind no more. You know your yard is not ready for the elite. You didn't jump past the all right guys. You the okay guy. You didn't got past the all right guy. You going straight to the elite. You want to prove to everybody your shit should be in that elite category. But you got to beat some elites to do that, though. And for the guys that don't get that, and for the ones who are scared to do that, because they put so much time into bragging, into flossing, into painting a picture that they can exploit on Facebook, on Instagram, on these podcasts. Never once putting on them goggles, refused to even have a pair in the house due to fear that he might have to turn one away to save face. He may have to even shut down for a while to save face. He don't want to be exposed, so he has to keep a low profile. He done woke up the sharks playing upstairs, and then you done put blood in the water. Now you got sharks swimming around all up here on Facebook, Instagram. They study looking for your ass. They want you. That's what happens. Those are what I call trolls. Them the trolls, them guys that go snooping around out here on these media stations and be talking about y'all, and to drag your ass down in the basement to expose who you really are. They drag you down there talking shit. Then the next thing you know, you park, and then you get down there looking like Snoopy. Oh, what the hell is this? What's going on? Oh, you know what's going on. All that talking you were doing upstairs, now we done slid your ass downstairs. And if you don't come up out of here alive, or you come up out of here unscathed, we're going to tell everybody. We're going to tell everybody. See, that's what you need. You need a lot more of that. See, the basement, them dark dwellers, they can't sell a dog in the fear that you might take your dog and breed to their shit. Next thing you know it, they name is tagged to a cur, a mutt, or nothing. They don't want that out there dangling around. So a lot of guys won't refuse to breed their shit. They don't want your dog to come and breed to them. Only on the fear that you want to go make some money. But you're breeding, making that money off of my name. Sure as hell can't be off of his.
Big shout out to my man, Mr. Trevor Leahy in the house. He said, sound like Cap. What up, Eminem? What up, Trevor? Want to give a big shout out to my man, Roll Runner Combine in the house. I see you, fam.
It's hard for me to start back up because I be like, okay, where I go, where I lose it. Hey, I need some help though. I need some input. Y'all help me out here, man. Yeah, y'all gotta help me out. He said Bunko said, let's see, he got cover. Dang. What you want me to do? No, I see you click it up there. What you gonna say something? Oh, get that back so I can read some of these chats. Well, that's what I did. I just clicked on right here, right? No, I don't. No, I got it. See, I'm down here. I'm way down. I got, yeah. See, I seen some good stuff down here. Who was that at? What up, Paul? Now? What's up, baby? I see you there. Skip Bell. What's up there? What up, Paul? Now, you know you need to help me out here, man. And like I said, like Mo said, every dog has to earn a spot on that chain. But you know what? What if they don't have to earn a spot no more? Maybe the spot is their papers. Maybe the spot is don't love my papers, but don't question my dog. What's going on, Union County? I see you, baby. Wow, my pups at 4 months was going 15 minutes on some bullshit. That's a good one. Said, wow, my pups at 4 months was going 15 minutes on some bullshit. Well, at 4 months old, I tell you what, if they going into some bullshit doing that, guess what that'll turn out to be if you keep doing that? Bullshit right along with it. Why? Because you ain't got no business playing with no 4 month old puppy on bullshit. Bam. Come on now, but you saying the right thing though, Brando, for like, because that's the truth though. This is what they do. We see it on Facebook all the time. We see it on Facebook all the time. They quick to turn a puppy into a grown dog, and quick to show everybody what they got. Got a dog swinging side to side on a high, working hard, and he up there being classified the next becoming a Jeep based on the way he working that line. Well, hook him up to that line with that line shocking him every time he wants to grab it. See how mad he get about that shit. See how long he want to keep grabbing him every time he grabs it. That mug is shocking his ass. And when he be game enough to maintain that grab, will he curl out and be real worried about running over there grabbing that high? What do you think? You know what I'm saying? Is it gonna, that's how you check it. Checking when you got something tagging you for grabbing that high. Like a bulldog, when he grab that bulldog go up and grab his ass back, be like, no, you ain't gonna be hitting me like this. I will snatch your ass up and make you work, you know. Imagine doing that to a high. He grab it and got a little electric shock going through his ass. Is he gonna be game enough to keep grabbing it? Is he gonna be shaking it like he's shaking Homer? What you think, guys? Is it gonna take a certain type of pedigree to be able to jump on that hide and take on that shot and still keep scratching back? Is he gonna be that bulldog that's determined, regardless if he gets shocked or not? I'm gonna snatch that damn hide down, shock and all. What do you think? Hog and dog, the okay and the all right dogs get tested so hard that true nature is shown. A good man told me, you want to see your hound in trouble. It's embarrassing what this sport I love has become. And he is so true. You should, look, even back in my time, y'all, there was guys that didn't even, I mean, you just schooling your dog. You know, your dog come out the first time, he acting courage. He ain't never been hit before. He ain't turned on yet. And you be ready to throw him away. Why are you trying to force something that ain't ready yet? How long does it take you to realize you're not ready yet? Or do you one of them ones that get embarrassed and let everybody talk you into just keeping your little young prospect down, knowing he ain't on? They just want to stop your shit because you got it. You know? How many of y'all got that chip on your shoulder where you're more worried about being embarrassed by your dog instead of being worried about you taking care of your dog? Can't always look good, fellas. You know, sometimes you just gotta pick that old kid up and say, man, he ain't ready yet. How long did it take you to realize that? So what, you might have to walk out the barn hollering, everybody laughing at you, talking about, he bought that shit over there. You go and take that old dog back home. That dog ain't ready yet. Oh, that's a cur. Throw that shit away, a cur, just because he didn't come on. I'd rather see him not start than to sit out there and start and do it. Why am I going to continue forcing something that ain't ready to play? You're supposed to be smarter than that for your animal. How many guys be so embarrassed that, you know, the dog was acting so good, tearing up them hides and wanting to get at something, then all of a sudden he get blasted, and the next thing you know it, he looking for a way out, like, what is this? This is all something new to him. He don't know what the hell to do. Well, I ain't never been in this type of situation before. What are you asking me to do? You know, what you gonna do with it? You gonna call him a cur, or you gonna take him back home and sit him up and give him a little bit more time? Maybe you need to get him off that high and start get some dogs down in his chain range where he eat at. Start making visits down there while he got his head in his food bowl. Send something over there to go in there and get in that bowl with his ass. Matter of fact, go and snatch his ass out the bowl. Let's see how he work for that. You know what I mean? Groom. Don't take 15, 20 minutes. You're grooming. It's like me when I'm training my dogs, my guard dogs. I don't let the bad guy come up there right off the bat while my puppies are standing there barking his ass. I don't let them just walk up there and slap the shit out of my damn puppy. No, what sense did I make? He go up and slap the shit out of my puppy because he barking at him. My puppy ain't don't understand that. There's a way to bring him in. So I want my dogs confident to be used to this bad guy sitting up here messing with me. I'm getting pissed off with this dude keeps showing up here messing with me. And then he keep running off every time I want to get his ass. I'm going to do a whole bunch of that before I let that man run up there and slap the shit out of my dog. You understand me? I want my dog, one, to know he's a bad guy. He keeps running, but every day he seems to be getting braver. He's getting closer and closer. But the whole time he's doing that, you're gaining confidence. And your dog is just as much as that brave bad guy keeps getting closer to him. My dog keeps getting closer to biting his ass. You know why he's getting close? Because he knows he's a bad guy. And he's getting confident and he's not scared of that approach. He actually wants it. Oh, I want, because guess what? This is how they get pissed. This is how you intensify them. This is how you give them their drive. You don't just go in there and just, man, go on over the man, slap my pup around and see if he'll bite your ass. But what if he don't? Well, you know, your style of doing things ain't working. You sure ain't making it gonna get too far with that motherfucking way of thinking. Okay? You gotta groom them. Most of the time, the dog gets bad traits due to the people that's breeding the shit by letting the shit into their line. And the other thing is the abuse to the line that creates these bad traits. Keep rolling the damn puppy and then be mad when he get up there and all fall out and quit. Or he wasn't like this as a puppy because you took all the man out of him as a puppy. A bulldog don't got but so many of many. Let me get y'all to understand that. They just like any human boxer. You ain't got but so many in you. Even Muhammad Ali finally got his ass whooped. Even finally Mike Tyson finally got his ass whooped. You don't have but so many fights in you. So why start exploiting the shit while they're young? When you got LeBron James on your team, dogs like Brat, that can go out there and do it at a young age, you cannot expect all dogs to be Brat. Out of all the damn dogs I had on the yard, wasn't but another dog that I knew could ever go in there and get Brat's ass, and that was a brother, Little Mayday. The only dog that ever got to her ass was her brother. But everybody don't get those breaks. You know? Everybody don't get that opportunity. Everybody's not going to have those type of dogs. But that doesn't mean that your dog is anything less than Brat. Then give your dog time. Let him grow into Brat. Groom your dog to be Brat. Because Brat just didn't do it on her own. There was a whole lot of grooming and training to get to that level. Same thing when the Stone City Mayday breeding that we made. Twin, you'll say that, then, but you turn around there and you show Big Mike and them puppies. Yeah, but guess what? I didn't take those little puppies out there and turn them into a 15-minute fucking roll either. Per pup. All I did is show them you can put that one in that one and that one in that one and turn them around and let them go. That's enough to see how they got down. They weren't even 3 months old, was they? They weren't even 3 months old. They were like 10 weeks old when we was doing that. Not no bumping the noses and none of that. They just didn't like each other. Why didn't they like each other? Probably had something to do with the damn food. They were very aggressive. I mean, I literally had to take one out every day. Take the baddest one out, the shit starter, we got another shit starter. You get that shit starter out of there, you're going to get another shit starter. It went through to all of them, ended out on their chain. Baby chain, baby collars, because they could not live together. Why would I sit there and let my litter ruin each other? They're going to tell me how to deal with them. Why would I leave them together if they're going to keep on doing that shit? You let the next alpha step up. As soon as he step up, start wrecking shit and take him out. Because guess what? If they all got it in them, there's going to be somebody to step up to the front. And I'm going to make sure that don't nobody lose. My puppies are not supposed to lose. That goes for the pits, Malinois, Shepherds, Doberman, Rottweilers, anything in the working class as young dogs. Never let them see what it feels like to have been defeated or scared off. They will carry it the rest of their life. You gotta handle your animals better. You gotta start thinking smarter. Don't let the paper game fool you, because the paper game comes with a whole lot of tricks. Running the mill, running 190 miles an hour, shaking the hide, got crazy drive. All those are all good signs, but they're not the dog's traits. You know, Basement has other things pertaining to what they call good traits. And not one of them consists of how you work the hide. You know, not one of them speaks of how fast you run the mill. You have to look at these things. A lot of these things, everybody keeps saying papers. Hey, at one point, let's just put the papers to the side, you know, because everybody talks about the papers. I like talking about the papers. But I like talking about the papers when it comes to a young dog to see if this is what I got, this is what I'm working with to look forward to. I'm not going to put no claim of fame on that puppy. I'm not going to put that puppy in no position or situation to make him feel like, you know, his paper is going to make him almighty. And what about them ones that want their puppy to be almighty just because of their papers and do more talking for the puppy than he do the work? You don't want to go out and spend time with your puppy, but you'll sit there and talk about how he bred, and then you want to talk about how he act. Well, wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with nothing there you doing. But guess what? If you don't get out there and get your ass to working on that puppy and shut your mouth, you'll be the first one. As soon as your dog look bad in a row, you stop it. Oh, no, hell no. I think you're going to refuse to let yourself walk out that shed, barn, wherever the hell you at, with everybody calling your dog a piece of trash. So it's better to be a quiet man with a good dog than a loud man with a car.
Want to give a big shout out to my man Vulgar Display of Power. I see you, fam. Yo, my man Cosmin Cal TV in the house. I see you, fam. Big shout out to my man, Mr. Derek Locke. He said, Mo just dropped a jewel on us. Was I the only one to catch that? Big shout out to my man Tony. I see you, Tone.
It was at Shy Diners. I seen that one. It was another one I seen from the back of the bus. See, you see on that? Man, I'm late. Look, my shit is way late. Okay, I'm getting there. See, okay.
MB for fire. What up, fam?
Blanco, Blanco said nothing says you have to remain in the country you were born in. And he's right. U.S. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get ready to do. Like, show that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going down through here. Yeah, okay. Blanco say they still consider Jeep or in Frisco something. How many Americans see beyond that nonsense? They don't, because I mean, most of them don't. I mean, isn't it crazy that you talk about Jeep? You know, in Frisco, yellow, Mayday, grand champion buck in the year 2025. That don't really bug y'all. That don't really trip y'all out. You know, before, you know, Jeep has always jumped out there on the top of the list, y'all. But Jeep Jeep is the creator of being bred a whole bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? Jeep was on the market dealing with a commercial kennel. You know, look, they all turn commercial at some point. You gonna tell me James Crenshaw didn't turn commercial? You gonna tell me the Floyd Boudreaux didn't turn commercial? You gonna tell me Maurice Carver didn't turn commercial? They went from dog man to dog man and salesman. You gonna tell me Stone City didn't turn commercial? You gonna tell me the hardcore killers didn't turn commercial? You gonna tell me did none of these guys turn commercial? Every single one of them dogs, them top 5, including over there on the female side, turned commercial. It was the only way they could get there. How would we be able to have any of those dogs if they hadn't turned commercial? You know? And along with the good, there's going to be more bullshit than the good shit. Just because you bred the Jeep don't mean you going to have some shit. You can breed Jeep with a good bitch and have trash. You can breed some trash to Jeep and have good. It's the call of the luck. It literally is. Bronco, I'm going to keep on reading you because you sound some good shit. A good guard dog isn't impossible. When you breed 1,000 plus a year, you will end up with something. And my point, I was just making that point. It was already there. But that's exactly what I just said. They're going to be commercial. You know? He's speaking out. I don't even know why you're doing it right there. Can you speak English? Since you ain't in this country? Because you're saying some shit. You saying some shit. You know? And here's the thing, Bronco. Everybody ain't the underground. We cannot frown on those that ain't the underground. See, it's one thing to be part of the underworld, and we got these these fake people don't come down into the basement. You know that. You know fake people do not bring that bullshit down in the basement. There's not even no room for them to breathe down there. You know that. So you'll never catch a fake ass down there. You know, you may have a beeline situation. Beeline was down the basement. He wasn't on Facebook bragging about his shit. He wasn't on YouTube with a podcast, bragging about his shit. He was literally down the basement faking everything he was doing. He was disguised in the basement. He wasn't upstairs doing all this yapping. He was down in the basement trying to do one of them Russian moves, infiltrate the game with your bullshit to get paid. And it worked for a moment because you had a lot of people out here chasing fake ass dreams. It wasn't no big kennels chasing that shit. It wasn't no big kennels chasing that beeline shit. Okay? It was big kennels that got their attention. He got those big kennels' attention because when you get all this shit put in the journal, you already know that's like the guide to the world of horses. It's like a guide to the world of horses. Why? Who is this dude? Anybody know him? Who's this doggy beat? Anybody know them? Well, let's go check him out. We're not gonna catch guys like Samurai and Buck City down in the basement, man, because they're not trying to tell you they down in the basement. So we don't need to pick on them up because they upstairs. They're not down in the basement, so they're not. See, this is where you get into arguments. You know, because they'll take that as a disrespectful move or something you said that was wrong, and it's not wrong because those guys aren't in the basement. Okay, they're not trying to say they're in the basement. They're not trying to act like they're in the basement. It's obvious they're not in the basement. So you cannot compare anything going in the basement to these people that you speak of. And that goes for many people that you speak of. We cannot keep getting into these little classes about what's going on upstairs, but not going on downstairs. You can make the basement hot talking about some shit that's going on upstairs that's totally irrelevant to what's going on downstairs. Because everybody downstairs knows damn well who's down there and who ain't. You can believe that. And if you run around upstairs talking too much shit, sooner or later you already know there's sharks that look everywhere for something to chew on. They go in any body of water to get one. Okay, man, I am so far behind. Okay, Johnny Rocket Mike said, but see, look how far I'm, every time I think I'm at the bottom, I got more going on. There's no telling how many people I done missed up in here. I'm just picking up pieces of the dream and carrying on. Skylander, can a turn be attributed to frustration or impatience? Okay, Shy Diners, can a turn be attributed to frustration or impatience, especially if the dog is unable to reach its target or is being restricted for too long? Let me tell you about these turns, bro. Turns is just a part of the game. You know what I mean? Turns, it's not even a standing 8 count. You know how you get knocked down, the referee let you get back on your feet, rub your gloves clean and ask you, is you all right? Look at me following me. Turn is almost like a standing 8 count. Okay? A turn is an indicator. A turn can be an actual true turn is a dog who is actually turning away from combat. Okay? That's a legal turn. You can turn to get into a maneuver. You can turn to go a direction. That is not what I would call a considered turn in a match. Okay? A turn in a match could be attributed to frustration. It could be contributed to impatience. But it could also be contributed to the curb button just got pushed. That warning light just came on. I'm done. That's that flasher right there. When they start turning. Okay? And then all you have to do is watch the tail. When a dog start turning, watch the tail, because you can get some dogs that'll turn and scratch all damn night. I done seen dogs turn all damn night and win, because you didn't never stop them. Shit, we wouldn't be talking about Hank. Hank was one of the most turning damn dogs, and he had a couple sons and daughters that did it too, that turned a lot. But remember, Hank is part of that Boyle shit too, ain't he? Now you give me some Boyle and some Eli, you know what I mean, and some Patrick, we talking about Ronnie Bulldog, okay? All of them got traits of quitting in them. Man, that's a fact, period. They still be having great dogs. Queen, Pandy, ain't not taking nothing. Let's get off the great ones, and let's talk about how the percentage of a lot of those bulldogs put on the right shit end up losing. They all don't get a chance to get to that point, but the majority of them that I've seen go, you know what I mean? It's a common fact of knowledge. Eli, Boyles, you know, they main thing. What Hank could be the contributor to that. That could be a bad trait that Hank put in there. Got all the ability in the world. God damn it, Hank was a turning out dog. He grand champion, Hank registered married. Could nobody stop that turning dog? None of them. But carrying that trait, maybe everybody couldn't run into the dog Hank was running into because they couldn't stop him. A lot of these other good dogs out here, some of these bulls dogs, when they started turning, they would turn 15 minutes in after whooping your ass for 15 minutes. And the first sign of that bullshit popping up is when they start turning. It's the perfect sign. If you've been seeing enough of them go, you'll see what I'm talking about. They all weren't bad because they're very hard to beat. And it's very hard to get somebody to get one to turn it. But you spend over 30 minutes on them dogs in that mug, after 30 minutes, hitting that 40-minute mark, when you start seeing them turn, you can best believe you're going to start seeing worse than that here in a few minutes. And that's the truth. Okay, who? This one. Johnny Rocket said, hey, Mo. Oh, yeah. Hold on, Johnny. I put it back up. Johnny Rocket said, Mo, what was your male to female ratio when bred to Stone City? I must got 1 or 2 females only out of each litter when I started using their line. Hey, you know what? And you're right about that. You're right about that. I mean, I had got Baby and a red brindle bitch with the only females in my litter out of 6. There was only 2 females. Even when we bred Buck Rogers, Buck Rogers only had, when we bred him to Powder and that great litter they had, she only had 1 female. Yeah, you're going to have a low number of females. But let me tell you something. They either going to be bad as hell or they're going to be straight cold. Look, I'm telling you, you're going to have a cold bitch or you're going to have a bad bitch. There's no in between on that. Yeah, that's one thing. And to be honest, you got to breed them both. When you start talking about Stone City dogs, you got to know the line. You gotta really understand the line. See, I understand Stone City very well. I understand Hardcore and them very well. I understand Victor and them very well because I studied the way they bred. I studied the way James Crenshaw bred and shit. That's why Casino and Marion and all them had this little click, this little connection. You know, these dogs got great, y'all, but they didn't really dig into that real corporate world of what we call the fast lane, where Pandy and Queen of Heart and them hung out. Grand Champion Satan hung out. Joey and them hung out. D. South and them hung out. Mr. Link and them hung out. Top Choice and them hung out. They never brought their asses down in them kind of areas. Don't let them lie to you. A lot of them dogs they had over there became famous based on the circles they played in. Ask Macho Buck. Ask Walkamore. You know what I'm saying? But they had the dogs. That's the thing. They had the right dogs. They didn't have to take big risk. Y'all was doing that for them. All the Mayday dogs out there, Victor didn't have to do nothing. Victor was probably the most acclimated man in the history of the dog game when it comes to his line of dogs. Match more fast lane dogs than any dog in the game. I can say that and tell you I know what the hell I'm talking about. Mostly all them champion sons and daughters off of Mayday went straight in the fast lane dog men. Not too many kennels can say that when it comes down to them top 5 on that ROM list. No, they can't. And we can talk about it. I open my door to talk about it. You know, we can get in depth. What I say is a fact. In depth. I'm telling you, Tab produced just as good as Mayday in many ways. Many ways that he could not pass Mayday, he could not pass Yellow, he could not pass Buck. With all the breedings that he had, he never got up to the level that his daddy and them got up to. Okay, Mike said I got so much going on. Okay, let's see. What's up, fam? Gee, Red Boy Roscoe, what's up, baby? Long time no see, fam. What's up, man? Oh my God, Pit Dog. Pit Dog. You gonna sit up here and let me talk shit about myself tonight, huh? Hey, Scott understand. I think Hank would have did better in a cage match with no handler. Shit, look here. You know how the motorcycles get in that cage, you know, and be riding around all on the wall, all on top of the wall with that motorcycle. Shit, that's the kind of match that Hank needed to be in. Okay? Shoot, when Stallone lost to Spike, they said that Spike was doing so much curb biting. Because he scared the shit out of Stallone. He curb bit the shit out the dog. Yeah, the curb snapping. Yes, sir. Everybody think that was such a big whoa. But honestly, based on the witnesses that that was right there, their twin, they make it sound like it was big, but that was some trash. Spike was a curse snapper. And he curse snapped the hell out of damn Stallone. Stallone was a murderer. But even that curse snapping turned that murder into a cur. I mean, you got a hard biting cur snapping on you. And he comfortable about snapping. Imagine a comfortable cur who snaps and yet can't none of y'all stop him. That's Hank. That's Spike. Yeah, Spike the beast Stallone. Yeah, Stallone was killing champions, but he get on that curse snapper and hung it up quick. Yet they go sell the dog, and they still go breed the shit. And you ask yourself why? What about the traits, y'all? Come on, y'all. How many of y'all would take that curse snapping dog that just made grand champion home with you? How many of y'all would take that curse snapping grand champion home with you and breed him? Because evidently they sure as hell did it to Hank. Evidently they sure as hell did it with Spike. Okay? And came up with some good damn dogs. Because what came with them? The same old thing with the Eli dogs. Maurice Floyd and them put them dogs out there. Look, they would only go out there and kill a dog because they did have ability, they did have mouth, they had the perfect battle bodies. A lot of Eli dogs, I didn't like their stifles. Their stifles was a little thin and, you know, weak. You know, you get them to shaking on them stifles, you know, it's over. It was over. That was the only thing I didn't like about the Eli dogs. They didn't really have real strong stifles. You know, they had them big ass shoulders and heads, but them stifles, boy, I'm telling you, you get them down that 30-minute mark, they start looking like a motherfucker on crutches. And you know, not long after that, it's not long after that. As soon as you see the first leg start shaking, the tail follow. The tail follow. Just pay attention to the tail. You know, when it comes to that game of scratching, and when it gets down into that bulldog thing, when you got two bulldogs in there, guess what? That lesser of the enemy, he will show you real soon. Real soon. As soon as he get tired and have to take a break, that's when you see changes. Does he got enough to take that break and get up and come back into this? That's what they counted on back then. They counted on them type of matches. This is why they weren't afraid to put him down. You know, you hear most guys say, man, I take my dog, I put a dog overweight on him, maybe give up 10, 15 pounds, and I put on my dog and see what he look like when he in trouble. Okay, did you tell me that you was going to put Tornado on my bitch? I don't remember you telling me you're going to put Tornado on my bitch. You think I'm going to let a person take Tornado and put on my bitch? Giving her 12 pounds? You think I would put a dog on Queen of Heart to game test how game my dog is, giving Queen 12 pounds over my bitch? You think I would take Yellow Buck and put Mayday on him, giving up 10 pounds, and watch Mayday destroy Yellow Buck just to see how good Yellow Buck is in game? I mean, where is the stopping point once this shit gets started? I ain't supposed to look good on Mayday, am I? I'm not supposed to look good on Queen, am I? I'm not supposed to look good on Tornado, am I? I'm only supposed to show you I'm game when I'm getting my ass whooped, right? So how long do I need to be doing this? How long do I need to be doing this? How many of you fools get down there and do it too long where your shit get ruined? There's a lot of that going on.
Big shout out to my main man, Mr. Vernon Starr. I see you, fam.
Hawking Dog said those lines don't even work here any. I have seen can't play 20 minutes or don't make it over the line more than twice. Hey, let me tell you something, Hawking Dog. I guarantee you over 70% of all these motherfuckers are doing that now. Uh-huh. It's a high ratio. It's a very high ratio. He was a shadow in the basement. No one saw him. Pit Dog. Who you talking about, Pit Dog? He said he was a shadow in the basement and no one saw him. You gotta be talking about James and them. Johnny Rocket said, "Hot dog, what kind of line you running?" He answered you. He answered you with Johnny Rocket, the one that is still proving itself today. Well, if we were in the basement, and we would probably know that answer, but I don't think they know that answer, Johnny. You know, if they ain't in the basement, you know, there's not a lot of them in the basement, dude. They wouldn't even understand what's in the basement, what's in the basement today. Now, a lot of guys don't know that is still proving itself today type comment. You know what I'm saying? You know, I can guarantee you I can go down here and say that as every man in this damn room that's feeding a dog, and he got one of them. He got one of them lines that's proven itself even today. Okay? So everybody can make that statement. Definitely a statement to make. Everybody can make it because I've heard them say it all the time. Not questioning you. Oh yeah, grand champion Hank, you right there, Pit Dog. You right there. So I mean, even though it's a good comment, it's a common comment upstairs, my friend. I know you've heard the same thing. That'd be a comment that I would keep under my hat when you don't say nothing about it. Because everybody, swear to God, they got a plan. Everybody got a plan, man. You ain't no different. So they're going to take that little comment right there and treat it like they treat all the other comments. They can say the same thing. Who believe what? And who even got the truth to show what? You know what I'm saying? Blanco sound good, but smell like German Shepherd to me, or maybe Malinois. See what I'm saying, Johnny? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? This is what you get.
Big shout out to my man, Mr. John Johnson. I see you, fam. Yo, my man. D. Ross in the house. What up? Bam.
See, Big Hill, Big Hill. See, that's what I just got done saying what I was saying. Yeah, I look out here and there go Big Hill. Everybody can say that. Everybody can say that. D. Ross called it the helicopter move. Okay? Yeah, it is.
Big shout out to the Big Hill fam in the house. What up, fam?
Big Hill said GHK reloaded. You don't smell that German Shepherd? Come on, man, light up. He been talking good all night. Don't come down here and mess with my man. I like him. He talking sense. He talking real. He talking like a bulldog though. But you know, like I said, he upstairs. He ain't down in the basement. So yeah, we gonna pick on him upstairs. You know this. You already know that. We know that. Bronco, he already know. I hope he ain't taking the shit personal. But if you in the basement, you know you know. If you don't, guess what? You don't need to know. He said, Big Hill said, only thing good overseas is the fish and chips. Where we at with it? Hey, let me tell you this though, Big Hill. I can say that back in the day. I can literally tell you that back in the day, but we ain't holding on much of shit. Not when you got them imports coming in whooping these dogs today. You got Koreans and Filipinos and all kind of shit running down through here kicking their asses today. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, you got more dogs than I done seen more good dogs with foreign pedigrees than I've seen a lot of dogs around here with homegrown pedigrees. You got homegrown pedigrees with more of the imports that are showing up in some badass dogs. Some badass dogs being imported back into these dogs. You know why? Because the competition ain't as deep. So what can we say when we grading dogs here? Oh, we used to blame them over there because they didn't have the competition level as we did. This is why we shied on them. Their competition level wasn't as high as ours. Yes, we could say that back then. We can't say that shit now. We only lying if we try to say that shit now. So Bronco, I gave you a free chip to fire back with. You can go ahead and tell them, y'all got garbage over here now. Y'all ain't doing shit but faking shit. Go ahead and tell him. Yeah, I'll give you a hand since you were doing so good tonight. You know, but yeah, no, Big Hill, no, I done seen a lot better dogs coming back in here than I done seen running around here.
My man D. Ross said, there's no perfect line of dogs, just the man behind the dogs. Big up to Lonzo Pratt, James Crenshaw, Ronnie Boys, and a few others.
Hey, they created this shit. If it don't be for them, what we gonna do? Remember, it wasn't them getting in the box and doing this shit. It was us. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. That's what we did to put their name on the map. They wasn't doing shit. You put enough of that shit out there, there's a whole bunch of it losing. We only talk about the ones that win. Okay? Ain't none of them damn dogs up there that you name outside of Jeep, that you named and them salutes. Let's keep it real. Okay, everybody else, I can start from Yellow, Buck, and I even go to Frisco. For more real dogs than a lot of them Jeep dogs. Good dog. What's up, baby? One thing I can tell you, they all had good dogs. Brian Bailey, D. Ross said Brian Bailey. Is it on there? Yeah. Brian Bailey and the Carolina Kitten and Bobby Holland, David Cannon, Mr. Barnes, Jimmy Smith, Anthony the Snitch Robinson, and a few more. Yeah, they had good dogs. That they did. But they ain't history makers. You don't see them on the list. You don't see them in the history books. We see dogs off of them. Their lines are very well known based on the line that came down off of them. But there's a many line of dog men I can say that for. There's a many line of guys out there that took those very dogs, and because of those names you're naming right there, you know, it was because of them and the people's ability to get those dogs from those people. But it was those people that made them great, not them. The dogs were used to make those names great. The dogs they used, that means dog man got their hands on their dogs. So let's not give them all the damn credit. Let's give, and then a lot of them dogs, let's see how many of them, look, you want me, look, we'll take a vacation ride down there through memory lane and start pulling up some of that great shit. Let's see what they were whooping. Let's go really take a good look. You got another one up? That one. He said, Pat Bill's a true dog man who was in the mix. Big up the roster man Boone in the trenches. Oh, he was a real true dog man now. He sure was, because how many of y'all would have been able to take y'all 6-time winners and step into an area where, you know, he knew what was over there. The only reason I think he even took his ass over there because of Rusty Man and Bakari. That's the only reason I felt he made his way over there. And I'm not talking about him as no, you know, like he did something good or bad. I'm just telling you that Dixieline Connection played that Dixieline shit, and they did. But when that Dixieline ran to that real fast world, and he can call it what he wants, I mean, he's the one that lost 4 times with his best shit. So I don't know what you want to call where you went and lost that. But it sure as hell ain't what you was doing where you was winning at.
Okay? And that's coming from a real dog, man, to know the difference between the places where you were playing and where we was playing. You hate to hear that. He hates to hear me say that. He hates to make me get out here and remind him by him being an asshole, you know, I'm gonna keep the truth out there. Don't put him hard on nowhere he belongs. He produced some good dogs. He was a hell of a dog, man. He made a great book. But he ain't gonna never explain away how that Dixieland shit came into what he thought wasn't no fast lane. I don't know what the hell he thought. It sure wasn't where you was winning at. Something totally different than where you was winning at. Cause you lost 4 of your best shit over there. Your best shit. 6-time winner, 5-time winner, damn near 9-time winner. Quitting. Okay? Now how many real dog men gonna sit there and say that? And be truthful about it. Not hating, because what I'm saying ain't a lie. So I'm not hating, I'm just telling y'all the truth. If the truth hurt, then so be it. Let it be. But I'm not lying on the man. I'm not putting the man down. I'm telling y'all the truth. Excuse me. I think they all had good dogs, y'all. I think a lot of these guys really, these are guys that they all had good dogs. They did. Big Hill said, hold on, I did put it up, didn't I? Where was I at, Mike? Hold on, Big Hill, I just saw you. I liked that comment you made. And then I seen yours too, Pit Dog. I'm coming to you. It was up, Mike. I swear it was. Right here, right? I'm going to roll with you on this one, right? That's it. Big Hill said, I'm going to roll with you on that one. We're twin on that one. But if they were sending Bronco to the party, we going to need more people. Salute to work. Hey, it's the truth, though. This is when you really find out. That's all I'm saying. There was different levels to this shit, man. Everybody used to talk about how ragged and Mayday dogs was, and I'm trying to tell y'all, the guys that had those Mayday dogs out there was the fastest lane that you can put the dogs on. I mean, what no shortstops in none of them damn dogs. None. Because it was not Victor who was doing it. It wasn't Victor doing this shit. All Victor did is gave us the supply. That's all. They could have ended up anywhere else. They could have ended up in California and we'd have got the same kind of conversation. No, we'd probably be talking like y'all. That man, that shit wasn't shit. Why? Because as soon as they brought it over here where we playing at, we was stopping that shit. That's what it been like. But no, these dogs ended up in a place where everybody that had one was in the fast lane. I mean, and if they wasn't, they hurry up and got in there because they felt like they had world beaters. There wasn't a person out there that had a Mayday dog that was a winning Mayday dog. A winning Mayday dog that didn't go out there in that big water of the fast lane and win with them. Not a one. Not a one. So while y'all ain't out there talking shit, talk about the kennels that had them. Now, not because Victor had Mayday. Let's talk about the kennels that had them. Shy Diner said, Big Hill, you corny, bro. See, Big Hill, they think you're trolling on them, man, but in some cases, you know, you're being truthful, which is being true. It's being true. And it's like in a row, you know, they can't take what you're saying, so they'll leave their dog down there a little longer, knowing damn well they should have picked him up. They got so much pride on them. They got that chip on them so much that your words won't let them pick their dog up and take him home. They'll leave him right there too quick so you can really talk shit. And even when they reach down there and grab him, they don't know how to pick up their dog and just turn around and walk home. No, they're going to be talking shit right back at you. Right back at you, and you're going to even make them feel worse. So that's why you get that garbage ass shit out of here. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You didn't leave it down there. But see, that's the problem with the game now. They got too many damn chips in your fingers that you're writing your pads down with and that you're typing on the internet. And you got too much pride to really care for your dog because you put so much mouth into that dog. You know what I'm saying? Is when your mouth can't stand up and see for what your mind and your eyes see is how you ruin your shit. Your pride won't let you do that. Your pride will sit back and let a man walk in there and put a 12-pound dog over there and tell you this is what you need to do with your dog and have you out there letting your dog get murdered by a dog, knowing your dog is in no position to do all this, and you leave him down there. And for what? This one. Big out roster man with the big rubber dub grand champion. Well, Shy Diner, I done seen Roster Man go several times. You know, Roster Man went into Grand Champion Satan. I done seen Grand Champion Boss Bronson. I done seen Roster Man several times, and I just don't understand where this rub and dub shit come from. Because if you ain't never been there and seen him doing anything, or you ain't never seen him match a dog, shut the fuck up. Cause that one right there, I won't let slide. And anybody would tell you, anytime I hear that mud ass shit, I be on it. Because I done seen the man go several times, and I could not understand why that man would have to rub any damn thing. Really. So I mean, unless somebody can come up with something other than a comment, I ain't gonna let that one fly. Can't let that one fly. I done seen several of his good dogs. Even beat Roster Man. We beat him with Satan. Even though he said it wasn't his dog, he could have rubbed that night. Because he sure had his hands full. And if you don't know nothing about Grand Champion Satan, then you really don't know shit. Because guess what? Goddamn. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. The other one that kept ducking me. No. They know who I'm talking about. No way. Hey, Big Dog, Big Dog, you know who I'm talking about, man. The dog that kept ducking Satan, and we tried to get him on him. We tried to put Satan on him. And I just seen him, somebody was talking about him on Facebook. They was talking about the dog on Facebook, a black dog. He was Satan's way. Money wasn't even it wasn't even one. We had all the money in the world, so they couldn't scare away with the money. Lionhead. Shankbone Lionhead. That's the dog I'm talking about. Shankbone Lionhead. All that shit today was gapping on Shankbone. Shankbone didn't want to come nowhere near Satan. Nowhere near Satan. Believe that. Satan beat Kenny Allen, Roster Man, every kennel that he beat, True Colors. Do you think Shankbone wasn't a piece of Satan? Rebel Kennels, look, he wasn't all that. And if you're going to give him all that, I'm going to give Satan #1 seed and give Shankbone #2 seed. A dog you hardly ever hear anybody talk about. Had that dog not want no part of Satan. Yeah, I seen that shit like he was supposed to be some devastating dog. He was a good dog. But I can say the same thing about like here, this one here. Here's a dog that beat Bad Bill, great dog, so evil. Cochise was a bad mofo though. But shit, tell me one that wasn't. Tell me one dog that Fat Bill lost to that wasn't a bad mofo, pit dog. He lost to some of the best dogs at that weight. Every single dog Fat Bill lost to was a bad-ass dog. Wasn't no mediocre. It wasn't even a decent. Every fucking dog that Fat Bill's good dogs lost to were great dogs. Not taking nothing away from Fat Bill. Not nothing. Because what he lost to was some bad-ass dogs. He just didn't have the baddest dogs. That's all I'm saying. He found out just how bad his dogs was. There was another level. Not taking nothing away from him. Cochise was bad. Bullet was bad. Mayonnaise was bad. Come on now. You know, these were badass dogs that he lost to. He wasn't scared. He sure as hell wasn't scared. That's the point. I can talk about him losing, but I ain't gonna never talk about him as a real dog, man, because that he was. Because most of the people wouldn't have done it. Ask Shane Bone why they didn't take old Lionhead into Satan. So he can't never claim that he was the baddest 43, 44 pounder in the world. Because he wasn't. He was in a safe place down there where he was, where he could get some easy win. But Satan played in the fast lane and went to some of the best in the game. Compare Satan's matches to Shanebone, Lionhead. It's not even a comparison. And the fact that he was ducking him. Ducked him. Just like Mike did 9 million with Pandy. Just like Ricky Jones did with Queen of Heart and Shady Lady. They ducked him. And what about Tornado and Roster Man? He ducked him. See, these are facts. Stone. Lady Stone. See, they all got that little fever. You know, they just want people like me to go ahead and die on out. Hey, I ain't never knew anybody taught the man. The man ain't, I can't understand who taught anybody. I don't think nobody had to teach the man that, because the man can win without a rub. That's for damn sure. I done seen him go several times. I done seen him win and lose. And the man don't have to rub. He must have, if he was rubbing anybody, he was rubbing some old greenhorn that didn't know shit. And probably if he was trying to jack y'all for y'all damn money, y'all deserved it. Because if he got that shit off, he sure would have never got that shit off over there where we was playing at. So if he got that shit off, because y'all was a bunch of rookies anyway. Because I ain't never believe he done it. And for those who said he did it, if he did it to y'all, y'all must have been a bunch of ass rookies that didn't deserve it, because you sure didn't stop him. You sure didn't know nothing about it until it was over with. You know, and it's probably nothing but an excuse because of the simple fact you lost. Try that one on. Big Hill said, shit, I think I met 2 new friends tonight. Twin, I'm feeling good. Salute them Skyliners and fish and chips. Bronco, let's eat. Yeah, those are good dudes, man. Look, they expressing themselves, and I ain't got no problem with them expressing themselves because they're making a good show out of this. I mean, and they making valid points too, Big Hill. You gotta give it to them. You gotta give it to them. They making valid points. But how they gonna learn if we don't correct and show them the truth? It's all about giving them more information so they can get more information to make better their truth. Because I'm gonna give them the truth. I'm gonna give them the argument that nobody else is able to do, because they too many people out there who've been around to know these things. And for the handfuls that can put the pieces of the puzzle together by us coming in as one with the same old line, you know what I mean? A lot of that fake ass bullshit, fairy tale bullshit gets washed away. It's only used for attention. I mean, shit. If the man had to rub, he should have been rubbing in the matches I seen him in. Shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's on some real shit. Because Satan got in that ass. And he was on a winning streak. Shit, Roger Man had that goddamn Grand Champion Brunson. He was another badass dog. You gonna tell me you gonna say that he was rubbed? Why you gonna rub a dog that's a killer? You know, what the hell you need to rub him for? What? Who rubs a killer? Who has to rub a killer? Oh, okay. You put it back. Hold on, Mr. Star. I get back down with this one here, right? Okay. Why don't you read it? You cut me off any other time. Oh, okay. Well, look, you put them on there. Go ahead and read them, bro. But you be cutting me off anyway.
Big shout out to my man, Mr. Burning Star. He says Sin City, Southern Kennels, Untouchables. Did very well with them Red Boy Jeep. And what's the BT? And the BT years ago, different versions.
Yeah. They all did good. I mean, Sin City, Stone City, all of them did good. Everybody had that shit going hard. Don't forget me. Hardcore Kennels, all of them. D. Ross said, thanks, twins. Niggas be hating on Roster Man. Straight up, athlete in the box, and out the box, straight warrior. Stop hating on Roster Man. Well, see, they don't know Roster Man like we do. See, they don't come from the air. That's a mentor to me. He one of them people that I'm sitting there talking about that when they get to talking, I ain't saying shit. Rusty Man would tell you when he didn't see me around. I can sit there and joke about the times that I've been out with Rusty Man. And that's why I'm saying, you know, I've been around him enough to know that he ain't got the rough shit. I done seen him enough in my days in this dog game to know that he ain't got to cheat nobody. Especially when he can win and lose. That's right. He didn't have to rub nothing. I mean, what are he doing? Picking and choosing? He had to be choosing some old greenhorns if he did anything out of the whack because y'all there was whoever he did it to was naive and didn't know nothing any damn way. He would have never tried no bullshit up there in the world that we was playing in. And never had. We're talking about Kenny Allen and Rebel Kennels and all these big ass kennels, and you calling this man a rubbing dog when he matched more dogs than some of the greatest kennels dog man out here. Win or lose. That's just some shit y'all done picked up off some whiners and been carrying along with y'all that has no basis to it. None. But some shit that, for real, man, it's clown shit. It's clown shit. War Eagle Yardboy said, I never heard Bill say he has lost. Bill can do, yeah, well, he has said he lost. I mean, it's in his own book. He got every one of them matches I'm talking about in his own book. So historically speaking, it's in the man's book, War Eagle Yardboy. It's in the man's book. He might not have said it out here, but his match reports are where you can even read them. So he just don't talk about the losses. That's all. You know, he probably hate me for the shit. You know, he talk about me every time he get a chance just because I bought it all up. So, you know, we are historically speaking. That's right there, Skyliner. We are all historically speaking for the purpose of entertainment. All this shit is fake. That's right. All of them been bulldogging. I mean, look, look, Pat Bill was running around with Bakari, with Tyrone, and Roster Man, and Kenny Allen, and Rebel Kennels. These are the people that you can catch Pat Bills to, and Fergie. He was at Fergie, the match with Fergie and Bronson, Grand Champion Bronson, with Tadpole and Bronson. No, it was Doom fought that night. Remember, we missed the Doom match, but we saw Tadpole and Bronson. Pat Bill was there that night, arguing with Cash. No, I don't take nothing away from Pat Bill. I mean, y'all would be fools if y'all didn't have his books. If y'all ain't got his books, I mean, when you read Pat Bill's books, they're really enjoyable. I mean, you should get every single one of them. To me, they're better collectible than the journal. He get more in detail with his shit. His shit is more in detail than the journal's shit. He might not have no book of champions like the journal, you know, but his records speak for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And his books got a lot of informative information, and it definitely is. They definitely worth having. I'm telling you, it is not. I will read Pat Bill's books more than I read any other book. And he got 3 of them big ass books. And he got the great interviews. The man been around the dog game forever. I mean, he know the ones that us black folks couldn't touch. Okay? And then to come over there and shine a little bit with us, it didn't hurt none. He just have a bad way of knowing how to respect. You know, he had that tendency of being Pat Bill too much. And that's what the bad part that makes Pat Bill fucked up. Because Pat Bill really is a fucked up dude. He just has a nice way when he ain't being fucked up. Because he gets a lot of enemies because of the way he is. Can't knock him for the way he is. But then, you know, when we respond to him the way we are, you know, oh, okay, he's not dumb. He's far from stupid. But sometimes his shit he does things that can get him in hot ass water. I would say Durant and Cunningham was a lot of guys' toughest competition. You want to know the truth? You know, Jason Amazing. He said, heard Pat Bill say on his channel, Durant and Cunningham was his toughest competition. He probably telling y'all his toughest competition that he won, because I can tell you about his toughest competition and the ones he lost. Okay? So, I mean, he might be just talking about the toughest competitions on the ones he won. Okay? I'm going to leave it right there on that one. But good one, good shot on that, man. Ooh, everybody getting on Skydiner. Man, I told you, man, should never bring shit up like that, bro. You got to, this is not the show that you go to talking about somebody rubbing a dog and you ain't bringing no facts. Cause see, you started off good tonight until you did that. Now it look like you done became chum in the water. Because now they calling you out. What show? Well, look what's going on now. You started and now look. Now you got cool beans on your ass. What show? And what dog? You talking. So tell it all, historically speaking. Okay? See, this is what happened when you start doing that. This is what happened when you start doing that. Oh, John Johnson, yes, sir. The truth hurts sometimes, twin preach. Thank you, man. I'm trying to, fam. I'm speaking for all of us. I'm speaking for all of us. You know that. Hating on Rasta man, my boy. Shame in this game. Okay, ain't they? Say, why, bro, waste your time on that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's right. It's funny to hear that. Look, man, I got into a big argument with down one of the strictly business people, bro. With one of the strictly business people. Who wasn't even strictly business. It had to be one of they sideliner gangs teams. You know what I'm saying? They with strictly business, but they ain't strictly business. They tried to run that shit under me, man. I was the one of the worst day them guys ran into me because we started off good until he said that. But when it comes down to where's the proof? Because the first thing I said, y'all must have lost. That's all I said. Y'all must have lost. The only time I've seen or heard some weird shit going off was that rerun. Wasn't it? Hey, Snipe. Wasn't the rerun? You know what I'm talking about when they released the dog and the dog came out, tapped each other, tasted each other, and both of them didn't want to do nothing. Like they both had rub on them or something. They wouldn't fight. So they just picked him up and called it a draw, basically. Because somebody had the rubber depth of it. They both did. But I know both dogs didn't want to do nothing. No, I mean, no, both dogs rubbed up. And we did. Yes, sir. We ran into a lot of circles together. Yes, sir. D. Ross, Rosterman said twins was straight. Bulldog and y'all ran into some of the same circle, ran the same. We ran in the fast lane circle. That's what we were running in. Because we would run into each other. Look, we way down here in Florida, way down here in Carolina, way up there in Ohio and Detroit, Tennessee, Kentucky. Yep. Ricky Jones, yep. But we didn't seen all this shit, man. Yeah, Lofty, man, I done seen him, man, in action. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, Brendan Starr said you guys were always in the journal, bro. Forgive me. I'm going to tell you why I got to be in the journal a lot. Because I was running around with guys that was always in the journal. When you playing with these people and you get a chance to play, you're going to get a chance to play. I refereed a lot of matches. I mean, got to see a lot of shit. Well, I got my respect to where guys was bringing me in just to ref. I was taught by some of the best dudes in there, and I was probably older than most of them, but they were still like my big brothers in arms when it comes to this dog game. They taught me a lot. They taught me what it looked like to have a badass dog. And they also reminded me that all of them ain't gonna make it, so don't be surprised. Don't expect them all. Don't expect all of them to make it. Here's the best way to deal with it. Don't expect none of them to make it until they prove you wrong. Because that means the harder you work, the better you're gonna see. When you're afraid to see, the less you'll work, because you don't want to see. It feels better to hide the truth than to show the truth. My dog stopped, he just gonna stop. You don't never hear me talk about one that quit. Red H, but what else do I say about her? Nothing. Because there's nothing else to say. There's plenty of dogs that didn't make it on the team. I mean, there was match dogs out there. Match dogs. Think we got 21 to 21 stops? No, I put it like this, 21 losses. And out of them 21 losses, 9 of them were quits. And that's out of all of them. Over 100 some wins. Only 21 losses. And I'm talking about that's well over 90%. And out of them 21 losses, 9 of them were dogs that quit. All the rest of them was game pickups. Okay? And that's a lot of dogs. I'm talking about, I mean, in our book of these dogs, I got the winners and the losers. Yeah, I ain't afraid to put my losers in. These are dogs that win in the competition and lost. A loss is a loss. I mean, face it. I mean, what's good for me is I ain't ashamed. Not when I can see so many wins. Brother Star said, I seen GHK, but had no clue they were brothers. A lot of guys didn't. Tony Wade called me one day arguing with some guy that said that Going Hard Kennels was a Mexican. They was Mexicans. And I mean, Tony Wade knew me down there 40 years. And why are you calling me? He calling me like, why are you calling me? You know me better than what you calling me for though? Man, I'm arguing with this dude trying to tell me y'all was Mexicans. He said, I'm just trying to make sure that we talk about the same kennel. I said, man, Tony, you done known me over 40 years. Why are you calling me with this argument? He don't even need to call me. I don't even know why he would need to call me. Maybe he needed to call me. He should have called me with the dudes on the phone. Don't call me to make sure that he's right. You know, I'm just making sure that, you know, man, after 40 years, you don't know yet. You know, how's somebody going to tell you who Going Hard Kennels is? How can anybody tell you who Going Hard Kennels is? Had called me. They asked me, man, some of these dudes down here calling themselves saying Going Hard is some Mexicans. Look what Brother Star said. He had no clue that these was brothers. Man, let me tell you something. A lot of those guys out there that made Mayday famous was brothers and Latinos. 98% of them. I might even go as far as saying 99% of them. I'm trying to think of one guy that wasn't. Mike, what am I doing? I did something right here. I can't get it off. Okay. Yes, sir, fellas. I mean, I'm talking about a long night. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. I seen it. Like, didn't I just put something up there? I don't know what I did with it. What the hell did I take up? Not right. Okay. Yeah, I seen that pit dog. Yeah, it was retard. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, pit dog. Yeah, that was right. It was retard. Yeah, now I mean, that match report was in the journal. They recorded that match. Yeah, that match made it to the journal. Sure the hell did. Oh, they didn't let that just slide out the door. That mug made it to the publication. Kyle and Kyle said the twins is Mexicans. Yeah, man, but you know, I just wanted to say, you know, when we was talking about all this, okay, Rudy and retard. That's right. Rudy and retard. That's right. Thank you, Pit Dog. Thank you, Pit Dog. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Rudy and retard. Right down here, as a matter of fact, wasn't it? Everybody looking at each other with the evil eye. Oh, no, come on, y'all. Everybody looking at you with the evil eye. Imagine the guys who had already bet their money because them was two badass dogs. They was two badass dogs. Yes, they were. There was no need for them to be rubbing each other any damn way. I mean, for real, they just messed up a good ass match. Talk about what it was. We're talking about for what it was. You know what it was. Somebody was up to no good. That's all. You know, and that's bad when both teams come in. Both teams watch the dogs, and both teams sit there and put rub on their dogs. That just don't make no sense. I mean, do you know who wants to be in a building when there's cheating going on? I don't want to be in no building where there's cheating. Because when the bullets start being fired around and people have a tendency, especially a scared person running, you know, he shoots better when his head is facing north and his gun is facing south, yet he's running north. Okay? I've seen plenty of them kind of gunfights where he's running just as fast, but the gun is behind him shooting anything trying to run behind him. See, that bullets go anywhere. And when you're in a crowd full of room of people who and shooting break out, who wants to be in there based on somebody cheating? Who would be foolish enough to even risk the chaos that it would create? Yeah. Ask Chico what happened when they caught them dogs fake teeth in his mouth. Or ask Chico what happened when he came out of that building with his dog. Everybody else's dog got taken. Well, he got the greatest dogs of all time. Woo, that just tell you how bad the game got, man. When a guy like him can get in there and become famous. Famous. Can't take nothing away from Chico Lopez. That's right, Big Dog got fouled out. But he the greatest. He better than STP. He better than Victor. He better than Super Kennels. He got the greatest dogs of all time. Yeah, he was not only a car salesman, he was a furniture salesman down there at Evolution. He was selling furniture down there at Evolution. And remember, Evolution took him in when, you know, he didn't really have no house to run to. They built him up. That's how I got into them Evolution dogs. Then he turned like he do with everybody else. He turned on everything he get around. He's not a good friend to nobody. Not nobody. He's never been a good friend to nobody. And he gets out here and had the nerve to have these clowns brainwash fools. Having the nerve to get around some of the biggest dog men in the history of the dog game and talk about Chico like he was really for real. Brother Star said he met Victor back in the day, and we spoke of getting something off of Mayday, but they ran so damn big, and we had a lot of dogs. Looking back on it, we should have got one before he went to Ecuador. You sure should have. You really sure should have, because dogs that was around here weren't big. They weren't big. Luke Kane wasn't in his 50s. The only big dogs that I've seen that was really out there was Hunch and Barracuda. I said 17 champions off of Mayday that I can speak on before he left the States. And only 2 big dogs that out of them 17. That means 15 of them was under 50. So how y'all gonna tell me about Mayday dogs being big dogs? My man, Brother Star said, I recall that one. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, me and Jesse we were riding together that night. That happened. Sure was. I'm up there pointing it out, man. Look at that police car over there, man. You saw that police car? I don't know, man. I ain't feeling this. I ain't want to go in the building. They made us get out the car and stop sitting outside. Come on in the building. The whole time I'm looking at this police car across the field. Now, what police car gonna be sitting across the field? And I know I've seen somebody in there, because you know when you're a Marine, what's the worst thing you can do in the field? Pit dog, light up a cigarette. And pitch black night, you light up a cigarette, we know exactly where you at. That's what that police car looked like that night. It was way across the field, but it was backed up in the driveway. And I seen a little light inside that police car, like he had lit a cigarette. And you know, in the Marines, in that field, what's the main thing they tell you? Don't light no damn cigarette unless you damn near got your head under a cover. Because that little light will tell everybody out there with a gun where to shoot. You got 100 people shooting at that light at night. Shit, I seen that light in that police car, and they should have been listening to me, because we got raided. That same police car ended up there at the goddamn place in the end. And Big Dog said, you are dead, your ass will be dead. Sure right about that. I mean, you'll see that light damn near a mile away. It stand out like a sore thumb in the middle of the night. One flick of your dick can get you killed. Hey, fellas, I enjoyed hanging out with y'all tonight, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this one. You know, I'm mad, man, that I can't never get nobody to come up here and hang out with me. I am just sick of this shit. I be telling Mike, man, y'all better start coming up here and hanging out with me. You know I talk mad crazy. I know I talk with a lot of fun. But, man, I want to share my fun with y'all, man. I need somebody to take over my job sometime. You know what I mean? I need that, y'all. Because I get bored real easy, and I keep telling Mike that. Yeah, Hunch was big. I said Hunch. It was Hunch and Barracuda. Those were the only ones. Running Star, it was only Hunch and Barracuda. Them were the only dogs that was over 50 pounds. Luke Kane wasn't over 50. Noriega, none of them. Twisted, none of them. Not one of them was over 50. Everybody was under 50. Hunch and Barracuda. What's up, man?
You know, Mo, when you look at Brett standing next to Beta, you would think Brett was as big as Mayday.
Yeah.
But she wasn't.
Nowhere close. But look how wide Mayday was. Look how wide Mayday is standing next to Brett. Brett looked like a little skinny thin piece in that big wide ass, because he was like him and Barracuda was the same. You know, they had these big ass bodies, but they weren't big dogs. They had wide frames. They didn't have tall frames like yellow. They had wide frames, like bulldog frame, like, you know. You seen how Barracuda look? They be talking about that old picture of Barracuda. We seen Barracuda when he was young. We was up in Tennessee. Okay, I'm over there. I'm on. See, your mic is right over here. Oh, okay. So they heard me saying all that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I thought that's what you did. Okay, guys. Look here. We had 86 votes on the poll tonight. 86. And we had no. 86% said no. Based on the laws in today's times, should we accept some of the APD, American Pit Bull Terriers bloodlines bad traits today? Should we be able to accept these bad traits? Depending on where we're at. Wouldn't you say? I say depending on where we at. Depending on where we're at. If we're in the basement, it's not acceptable. But I don't see much matter if you're upstairs. I really don't see much matter what traits matter as long as they're not attacking people. I believe a cur can still win a trophy. A rank ass cur can still win a trophy upstairs. Expectations is not the same as what it would be downstairs. So, I mean, we call current out bad traits. We do. Okay? We don't like carrying them kind of traits. We don't even want to carry a trait like Hank, a whole bunch of turning, curse snapping. Do you want to really carry a trait like that around? If it's winning like Grand Champion Hank, I still couldn't bite the bullet and have it because I would look so terrible. I'd probably kill half my yard trying to get it to quit because he's doing all that turning and shit. I know this son of a bitch will quit. I didn't believe a dog to turn as much as these dogs turn. You just gotta put the right dog on to make it quit, right? I think so. Burning Star, there was definitely no harm taken, fam. I mean, it's you bringing the light to shit. Let me tell you, man, I believe Burning Star. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't click it here. Okay. But Victor was trying to send us a dog off of Mayday Jr. in a bitch called Anaconda. Well, I can tell you about Mr. Mayday Jr. I believe a lot of them dogs over there out of that was supposed to be Mayday was coming off of Mayday Jr. Now, there was a picture of Mayday Jr. And I'm telling you, you could not tell the difference between Mayday Jr. and Mayday. And I believe that was the dog that Victor was using in place of Mayday. I've seen Mayday Jr. And Mayday Jr. was a replica. I'm talking about straight up replica of Mayday. Cotton Cow, like you said, in the basement, it is not acceptable, twin. It will never be an acceptable trait. Even though we still see guys taking their dogs home after robes, after quitting. You first of all, you put your dog down there. You had no business leaving your dog down there as long as you did. And then when the dog quit, you got all these excuses, but you shouldn't have had not one excuse when you realized that they was there to stop you anyway. The chip on your shoulder is the only excuse you should be using. Your lack of believing and knowing your dog and helping your dog, your chip, your ignorance, your pride is what stopped that dog. So you should be prepared to hear all this shit they say to you about your current ass bitch, that raggedy piece of shit, all the names they call your dog when your dog quit. When you should have knew better. You should have knew better, not your dog. Because I've seen many young guys make their dogs quit by putting their dogs in a situation they have no other choice but to quit. And I'm going to leave it right there. Doing young dogs too young. Try to make a dog a man before he's enough to even kick his leg up to piss. I've seen many ignorance. So there's a lot of things that create these badass traits that we claim may be badass traits. One trait is the damn trait of the handler, the kennel. What, you can't hear me? You know what I'm saying, y'all? So I'm gonna turn it back over to Mike. I gotta give me something to wet my lip. I know my voice has been real hard and loud tonight because y'all had me on that level. I guess on that level, man, makes good conversation. Believe in your animal, groom your animal. Everybody be sitting on one of their dog on the chain. How many times we done heard people say, man, you can't just put your dog out there on the chain and wait for him to grow up and then think he's gonna just be automatic. He ain't gonna be no automatic. It don't work like that, fellas. I mean, it's like me training a Malinois. You know, I know that Malinois anything coming off of chaos is going to be mean. Okay, I have to groom that dog to be just like his daddy. I groomed his daddy to be like his daddy. Yeah, they got the trait in them, but you got to groom it, nourish it. How many football players and basketball players and other sports got their kids doing the same thing that they did? They might not never been as great as their own daddy or their own mother or none of them things, but their parents groomed them like they were groomed and groomed them to be able to get in there. You know what I'm saying? But they had that help to get there. Same thing with the damn dogs. Regardless of what line of dogs you're breaking down. You know, you got to groom into what you want them to be and never let a puppy loose. The worst thing you can ever do is let your puppy experience a retreat. That's the worst thing you can put in a puppy's head. When you're pushing too hard and you got him hesitating or retreating, you just ruined your damn dog because he'll never forget it. And when the time comes again, care how old he is, he's going to revert back to that experience. He's going to feel like he's in that experience again, and he's going to react just like he did when he was a puppy. Think I'm bullshitting? Try me. I'm done.
Want to give a big shout out to my man Cosmo Khan, Chief Aboriginal. HV in the house. What up, fam? He said, pause. Big shout out to Small Time. We all made mistakes as fathers in regards to the children. The more involved we will be, the best. The more involved we will be, the best we will get the best outcome. This is true, fellas. Hey, man, I know we finna get up out of here tonight, but look, fellas, I appreciate everybody for showing up and showing out. You know, appreciate the all my people who participated in the poll. Hey, y'all don't forget to hit that like button. Again, I ain't trying to be here all night, and I swear to God, I was waiting on somebody to try to throw a pedigree up so I could just go ahead and just knock it down because I'm not trying to be here till 3 o'clock in the morning. But y'all help me out here with the 53 people we got left. Remember, it don't take a whole lot of y'all. It don't really take a whole lot of y'all, but I like to see more love come out of here. You don't want to come up. You just want to sit back and listen. I'm going to be all good with that. But the least you can do is hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you hadn't already done so, and give me the goddamn thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Muscles, muscles, muscles. Now, give me some goddamn roses, roses. We need them damn roses. Show your love, fellas. Show your love. Right, come on, y'all. Big shout out to my man, Hoggin' Dogs. He said, thank you guys for the show. No, thank you, sir, for showing up and showing out. Welcome to the Shark Tank, fam. Big shout out to my man, Jason Amazing. He said, let me get up my man, Jason Amazing. Jason, don't worry about it, man. When I'm going to go over here, you will have your hardware, fam. I want you to be able to sit back and enjoy the blue. And again, welcome to the Shark Tank, fam. I know it might look crazy, you know, being it's your first time over here, but don't worry about it, man. You'll get used to it and fit right in because these sharks, they vicious. They vicious. But we love when it's chum in the water. My man Jason Amazing said, seen many do crazy breedings for just mouth, and it always ends up ugly in the fast lane. Salute GHK, good show. Appreciate the love, fam. Hey, I'm like I said, it don't take many of y'all, just a couple to show the love. But I need to see the love. Thumbs up, muscles, and roses. Don't have to be a line up, maybe one or two, but hey, something is better than nothing. And as we close out tonight, look, fellas, the whole moral for me, I picked this show tonight for a reason. Because, you know, me and Mo, we had this little conversation about, Mo know more about these dogs. You know, I'm picking, I can pick in his head. I'll be, hey Mo, give me to understand something, man. How do you keep breeding dogs and keep talking about traits and don't even know if the dog has the traits you're looking for or if you're dealing with good or bad traits? You know, I remember a man said, man, you got to go through 1,000 Eli dogs to get a good one.
So Ron Newman, Cherokee Kennels told me that.
Yeah, Ron Newman, Cherokee Kennels. He felt like that about Eli dogs.
No,
Boyle's dogs. Take that back. Mo had to correct me. It was Boyle's dogs. But then you look at the good ones, man. The pandies. You know what I mean? The handicaps. Queen of Hearts. Grand Champion Buster Brown. See, they out there. It just wasn't a lot of them. But then remember, everybody was trying to use the Bulls dogs at one time. They was here in Florida, and I know damn well they was in Detroit. For sure. And if I remember correctly, Queen of Hearts came from down south.
Sean B. Justice for the Bulls.
To up north. You got Sean B and Justice. Black Pass. I mean, we can go name these dogs. These was all Bulls dogs. But remember, like Ron Newman said, you got to go to 1,000 of them to get the right one. So when you got the right one, wasn't nothing going to whoop it. Nothing. And keep in mind now, Patty did not scratch. She would not come out that corner. But you don't know what she was going to be like when you put her on the line. Because she destroyed you the minute you put your mouth on her. You through. You're done. It's over. But that's a bulldog. She wound up a 4-time winner because nobody had the gall to even try to figure out or even try to wonder or even want to see if they could beat her. But remember, I think Queen had 8 comers, if not 9. I think it was 8. I remember when the Abrahams got her, she was only a 4-time winner. So remember, this game is, you can talk all you want, but when it comes down to the facts and the results, you got to climb over that wall to find out what it was. And that's where the story was told. Now remember, I'm speaking of the past. We're not looking to do nothing like this in the future. I don't want y'all to even think that we're trying to tell you to have a good goddamn bulldog has got to be a box dog. No, I did not create this breed. Mo did not create this breed. This breed came into fruition due to men creating the best fighting dogs that man could create. A competitive pit bull. Times have changed. The standards should change. The way we think about them should change. But for the ones who carry that night vision, I'm telling you, the longevity and the legendary status that will carry these dogs into the future will always come from the basement. We don't know who, we don't know when, and we don't know how. But one damn thing for sure, they ain't never had a problem over the years. Never. So keep this thought in mind. For all you wall climbers and treadmillers and just want to have a good working dog, I'm always going to be a fan for the training process. If you want to train your damn dog, then train the damn dog to do what you want it to do. Because it's going to be up to the person to get that dog to do what you want that dog to do. And these dogs can do so much more than be just box dogs. We just come from an era that we use them for the purpose that they were bred for. Anything other than that, we have Water German Shepherds and Doberman Pinschers. And Malinois. Not knocking what people do with their dog. I just think there's better guard dogs than a pit bull. That's just our opinion. But as we move forward and we close out tonight, take something with you, man. Take something. If you don't take nothing with you, take something with you. Your dog can't be famous without you. Your dog can't be great without you. And if you do what you're supposed to do with your dog, regardless of what you do with your dog, you really don't have to say much because your dog will say it for you. And I'm going to leave it at that until Tuesday. Let me get my little thing together so we can rock out here. Appreciate everybody for showing the love. I really appreciate that. Remember, it don't take much, fellas, for me to appreciate what you're doing. It only takes a little because I know some people really do care. And as long as it ain't costing them nothing but just a little bit of time and a little couple taps on the keyboard, hey, let you know. I appreciate that, fam. So let me do this like this. Yeah, hold on.
Chico, Nicholas, what's up, man? Pit dog. Lonnie Rogers. Cosman Cow TV, Run Star. Man, y'all made it a good show.
Appreciate everybody for showing up and showing out again. Let me see. I think I got it going here. Hey, man. Again, how many times we say this? I think we've been saying this ever since we started the show. But we ain't gonna never get up off this situation. Your dog is only as good as you are. No matter how many times you get up and you go out there and feed that shit, and you put your mind into what you're doing, we all have had our bad times. Not everything turned out good. But then that's the sole purpose of understanding why we say and we live by and always will live by, we always.
We always.
I'm going to tell y'all, we're going to do this one together. We always scratch the wind.
You better believe it.
You better act like you know. Don't be playing. But we checking some shit. We checking your shit. Man, until Tuesday, man, y'all stay safe. Stay loyal to your game. Don't forget. We'll be here Tuesday, if God permits. Until then, y'all enjoy your weekend. Y'all continue to rock out with us as we do it like this. Yeah.